podcast, Beyond Books and Blogs, Inspiring CX Stories, brought to you by Epic Consulting. I'm Ghulam Hussain Ali, your host and founder at Epic Consulting. And in this series, we will bring you the stories and experiences of customer centricity passionados who have used customer journey maps and similar alignment diagrams, such as experience diagrams and service blueprints, to help their organizations and even in some cases their extended ecosystems build customer-centric cultures. These heroes and champions of the customer's cause will share with us firsthand their experiences of how and why they started mapping their customers' journeys, the challenges they faced along the way, what their typical mapping projects look like, and advice to newcomers aspiring to adopt this practice. Our guests will come from a variety of industries and roles within private sector organizations, government agencies, not-for-profits, and even consulting firms. The purpose is to provide you insights relevant to your business context, whatever it is. So please feel free to share your views, comments, suggestions, and feedback in the comment section on this channel, on our Facebook page for journey mapping, which is shared. The link would be shared with you on the same YouTube channel, or email us directly at journeymapping@epicconsulting.ae. Thanks for watching and listening to our esteemed guests, and we hope you enjoy the series. Without further ado, let's turn to our guest today, who is, mashallah, a person who is championing the customer cause in the region. He has worked both in the UAE and right now he is placed in Jordan. Malek Ghazo. He is a management consultant with 10 years of experience in the field of organizational excellence, performance management, strategy planning, and management while developing benchmarking studies internationally. In his career, he has been primarily serving public and private clients on organizational development, strategy management, business restructuring and transformation, and business model innovation and customer service. Geographically, he's worked both in Europe, in particular in UK, and in the Middle East. As I mentioned earlier, Middle East also is across the region, not just in one place. Malek has earned his master's degree in engineering and management at the University of Exeter in 2010. And apart from Arabic, he has excellent command on the English language as well. He has more credits on more feathers in his cap, mashallah. He has publications in the field of organizational excellence, performance management, customer experience, and benchmarking. And these are all registered at the Jordan National Library. In addition, Malek has 4 patents in the field of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and conditional monitoring. He's also trained more than 600 knowledge seekers in the same fields of performance management, organizational excellence, benchmarking, and customer service. Malek, I wish I could stop it over there. Mashallah, those are a lot of credits to your cap.
Thank you.
I would like to extend now the scene to you and start with, what does journey mapping mean to you, and how come you started journey mapping? What's the story behind that?
First, thanks a lot for this introduction, and I'm happy to talk today about this important and interesting topic that many organizations and people around the world are focusing on at the moment. Now, journey mapping for me, it's the skeleton that builds up any brand, service, or product. It offers the customers what they need in order to approach us in the right way that they think it's best for them. It provides the structure and bonding between the different areas that shape the experience of customers when approaching any service or product we are offering, whether they need it or they are looking to have. Why do I map journeys? It's mainly because I need to understand, feel, sense, and see what happens along the delivery chain of my services and products towards my customers. It's because I need to plan for every step any customer would encounter when approaching me and my services and products, of course. Not just physically, but also mentally, in order not just to sell what I have, but also to create promoters for my brand, for my service and product, so as to have new ambassadors for what I'm offering among the market I am in. So journey mapping in general, it's, as I mentioned before, it's the skeleton for whatever I offer, which will ensure my sustainability in the market and builds the right relationship between me and my customers.
That's really amazing. Okay, I mean, it sounds like you've really had a lot of experience using it.
Yes.
So Malek, can you tell me how did you get started on journey mapping?
If we can go back in history, I think this was back in 2014 when I started to develop an award regarding, or a framework, which was translated later into an award regarding customer service and customer experience.
Is that one of the patent areas as well?
You are right. You are right. Through this framework, I try to develop different models that can help the different companies to structure the way they deliver their services and products to customers. And while designing and developing this framework and the different models, I found out that there is a missing part within this framework, which later on I discovered that journey mapping and customer experience is the flavor of any service or product that we offer to our customers. Okay. Why is that? It's because it builds up the way we treat our customers, the way we deal with them, and the way we expect them to approach us.
Okay.
So this was the main reason why I started to focus more into customer experience and journey mapping, while ensuring that we move forward, which I will come to this point later on, to emphasize the fact that we are now in the era of service management, the service dominant logic, where firms no longer know what customers need. We have to approach our customers in order to understand what they need out from us and how they want to approach us, our services and products.
And you believe the journey mapping framework or the structure itself is actually the ideal structure to help you do that?
Of course. It's one of the main areas of the framework.
Okay. So,
yes.
So you incorporated journey maps into that framework, and when was the first time when you actually did mapping?
I had different experiences regarding developing journeys and journey mapping, but here I would like to talk about one of these experiences which was done recently with a business I'm co-founder in. It's called Sinara.
Okay, lovely.
Yes, so we are offering a platform for e-commerce.
Okay.
That can help customers sell their products and services online with an easy-to-use platform, easy-to-use e-commerce options and services, and help them to approach the customers in a wider range while providing them what they have in the right way. Okay. How the journey mapping was embedded in this overall business, it was mainly related to digital journey mapping or digital customer experience. Whenever we talk about journey mapping or customer experience, we start to talk about different pillars, starting with awareness, up to buying, and using whatever services and products I'm offering. Right. So when we start talking about awareness, I want to know, do my customers find out about me and my services and the different products that I'm offering them? Are they doing this in the right way? Was it done efficiently and effectively? I would say this was the first part of my journey mapping regarding Sinara, the e-commerce platform.
That's fantastic. Forward,
yes.
Now, I was going to say, you applied it to your own organization, your own startup, your own baby, in fact. I mean, a lot of the time.
You're right. This was the art of it, applying it to my own business.
Right. That's amazing. One of the most interesting workshops that I've done was actually at IN5 in Dubai, which is one of the incubators which the Dubai government has launched over here. And it was all obviously a bunch of startups, a bunch of entrepreneurs, and I gave them, I modeled or designed for them a 4-hour workshop. And I think that a lot of them actually got something out of it, because it was the first time they were trying to look at the end-to-end cycle of their customers and where they were trying to add value and how they were going to tie together that entire experience. So that's really interesting. That's fascinating. I always believe that that is one of the areas where journey mapping can be very helpful in the entrepreneurial, in the startup area.
And especially emphasizing on what you have mentioned, looking at it as an end-to-end cycle.
Right. So how was it, by the way, introducing, you mentioned that you were a co-founder at Sonara.
Well, it's an interesting part of my life, by the way, now. But going back to the journey mapping, Ghulam, I started with awareness out of the journey map as an overall, but we moved forward to the second pillar of our map, which is talking about buying. Do my customers or our customers get to us in the right way that we think it's best for them? And how welcoming are we for them?
Okay.
Are we offering what they need in the way they need it? Or we are just thinking that we're offering them what they need? So this is where we start talking about co-creation of value and co-creating the overall journey mapping with our customers.
Okay.
So moving forward from awareness and buying, we started talking about acquiring our products and services and moving forward how they are using them after they are being purchased. Because when we are talking about using what they are getting out from us, we start talking about how they will share the knowledge and experience and the news about what they have got out from us. So back to the startup, this journey mapping wasn't just to offer my e-commerce platform to customers, but we offered it as a package for those customers in order to use it when they sell their products and services over the e-commerce platform. So now we equip them with a journey map that they can use whenever they offer their services and products using the e-commerce platform.
Okay. So it's kind of, you've integrated feedback at the right touch points for each and one of the people who are on your platform.
Right. So it was a win-win situation. We used it and we offered it for them to use it.
Lovely. I have to check this out. I'm actually going to. I'll see that if we can develop a workshop over here. I'll try and put that on Sonara and see how it works.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Lovely.
Sure.
So, okay. If then that's the most recent example of you doing journey mapping, perhaps you can use that context or another one to walk us through what a typical project of journey mapping would look like. So, I mean, for example, you're talking about the awareness phase. How did you use customers for that co-creation over there? Did you do post-it note journey mapping on the wall, or did you actually, get feedback, identify? How did you go about it? A little bit about the mechanics of the project itself.
As we've mentioned from the beginning, how do I see journey mapping? And I mentioned it is like a skeleton that bonds the different areas in which we deal with our customers. So when we say skeleton and structure and bonding, this is what means that we have to structure what we need to do. So this is why I will come back to a story that I was telling some of the customers I used to deal with when talking about the framework of customer service and customer experience that I've mentioned before. Whenever you start building a house, of course you cannot start unless you have a map for wherever the different rooms will be inside your house. And structuring this room, these different rooms and the overall map is not just to cope with the different utilities inside your house, but also you are designing your journey inside your house. Wherever you want your kitchen, your bedroom, your living room, how is it designed, how to use it later on, how it is modeled, and all these details. Which means what you have mentioned is correct. I'll always use my wall to structure the overall journey regarding whatever I want to structure for my customers. I need a big space, start drawing the different details in which I encounter with my customers. And I don't skip any detail. Customers don't just walk into my business. They walk in with their bodies, but also they have emotions, they have feelings, they have senses, which I have to focus on, take into consideration in order to build the most efficient and effective journey mapping for them.
Yeah, okay.
Again, structuring it is the first step. The second step is start to experiencing it and collecting lessons learned out of my customers. This is where I come into surveys, trying to listen to my customers, understand how they encounter the overall journey that I have designed from the beginning in order to improve. So it is called journey mapping, and the overall structure of it is a journey which continues to develop along the way you deal with your customers and offering them your services and products.
Okay. This is really interesting. So you kind of real time you're using their feedback.
You're
kind
right.
of see how am I going to improve this experience further for them, and that feedback is on the same platform on Sinara.
Of course. And
That's
let's not just talk about Sinara. This will apply on all journey mapping regarding any service or product.
Now that's really interesting because of course you've used journey mapping in a strategic way, to make the architectural blueprint of your business, of what kind of experience you want to deliver to your customers in the case of Sinara. But a lot of organizations, what they also do is they use the journey map in the same skeleton to actually identify what are the key moments of truth for the customers, and then to make sure that they're getting feedback at that moment of truth, on those moments of truth, to see whether they're being true to their purpose and brand, what they're trying to propagate to their customers, whether the customers are feeling emotionally the same level of engagement that you want with them at those points.
While stressing the fact that this is a continuous journey.
Okay.
It's a continuous improvement journey.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with someone who's been mapping since 2001, actually. And a gentleman by the name of Patrick Newberry. He's also author of a book, and his book is about how you integrate the experience with the brand perception that you want to build with your customers. And
it's not just a service or a product, it's a brand.
Yes, it's a brand, absolutely.
You're right. Yeah.
And that emotional engagement can only come in when you're actually dealing with a brand. It's like another person that you're dealing, a business person, but it's a brand that you're dealing with. And one of the key takeaways that I got from him, which was really interesting, was that and I think you actually mentioned that earlier as well. You used the word sustainability. And he said that until you don't see the end-to-end life cycle of the customer, not just one journey, but the end-to-end life cycle in a time chronology that he's experiencing with you, you won't be able to look at his extended needs and be able to align your new treatments to sustain yourself along with your customers. So, in other words, when you look at the end-to-end life cycle, you constantly come up with new ways of how you're going to keep realizing value for yourself as the brand and for the customer at the same time.
You're right. So always to take into consideration the big picture.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That's really interesting. So okay, now you're talking about multiple projects over here, Malek, but I want you to tell us a little more about pick any one of the projects where you think, and I think that Sinara scenario is really good because it's close to your heart. It's your baby. And if you tell us, if you can share with us a little bit about what were the benefits and outcomes that you as Sinara owners got from the journey mapping concept that you've embedded within that infrastructure.
I would start talking about approaching investors with the overall approach with what we are having. It was easy to approach investors and deliver the benefits of our business and encourage them to invest in our startup. And luckily, we have got one of the investors who decided to continue with us now. When we asked him why did he decide to choose us, he said, the way you design the overall product that you are offering towards your customers, it was efficient in a way that they can understand the value out of it, and
Okay.
they can better use it in the right way. You are
Inshallah.
helping them. You are. He said, I will quote him here. He said, you are not just offering a product, you are offering them a product and an experience. And this is what service management, by the way, is all about.
Yes.
Currently, the products should be embedded with experiences and skills whenever you offer your customers, in order for them not just to use it when they sell it, not just use it once or twice, to continue using it and experiencing it along the using journey of this product or service. So his words were encouraging for us, by the way, and we felt happy that we were successful in developing the overall mapping regarding our service journey and product journey.
That's absolutely lovely. That's amazing. Last year, that reminds me, first of all, I wish that we can have another session with you sometime, Malek, where you could
Yes.
perhaps share that framework in PowerPoint. We can do a share screen with you where you can walk us through how that worked, because there are so many startups out there, so many entrepreneurs out there who will benefit from what you have done. And not only they will benefit, but their customers will benefit at the end of the day. So the whole
Right.
idea of I'm out on this mission, by the way, is to help us make a better world for ourselves. You know, we're customers. We deal with banks, we deal with telecoms, we deal with all these organizations which have so many silos, and they never actually recognize. Okay, they probably do recognize, but they're so embedded in their old infrastructures that they don't provide us a seamless experience. And the whole idea of why Epic is trying to raise this awareness is, at the end of the day, we will end up making a better world for ourselves as customers.
You're right. You're right. I would be happy to do that.
That would be lovely. I will hold you on that, inshallah, take you up on that sometime.
Sure.
So that's an awesome benefit. That's one of the freshest benefits that I've heard in a long, long time. Although I do remember last year, I was trying to support a lady over here, a French lady in Dubai, who was trying to launch a luxury, not luxury, a concept jewelry idea. And she was trying to combine fashion with religious symbolism and combining different religious symbols. So, you know, Christian religious symbols, Islamic religious symbols, Buddhist religious symbols, and then trying to combine them and propagate the message of tolerance. It was an amazing idea. And she actually attended that Iron 5 workshop that I was talking about. And she said that this journey map, if we do it right, we never got to do that, by the way, for different reasons, which I don't want to go into right now. But she said this journey map, if we get it right and we can show what kind of an experience we're delivering to my jewelry line customers, I think investors, I mean, I'm quoting her, I think that investors would really go for it. It's a different story of why we couldn't get to do that. Dealing with the French isn't always that easy.
But you know, Ghulam, you keep mentioning different stories here, and I would like to raise a question for you now. What do you think would inspire anyone to design the right journey mapping for whatever service or product they are offering? The inspiration, where they can get it from?
I think the inspiration mostly comes from their own innate passion of what they're doing. Honestly speaking, I think in a lot of cases it starts with they're trying to make a difference in the world. They're trying to change something, the way someone feels or the way someone thinks. They're trying to make that change. And because especially journey maps, because in journey maps we're always talking about emotions and touch points and feelings and thoughts. So it's the entire, the left side and the right side of the human brain. And people who are trying to bring a change in the world, they really, it appeals to them because they see that, you know, they can get a visual of the change they are trying to bring. So, you know, while we're talking about outside in from customer journeys, but a lot of the time the passion and the drive comes from inside here out. Because they're trying to actually make some difference somewhere. And
You're right.
I mean, in my experience so far, it always starts from there. That's why it's always a culture change that has to be brought about. You have to align the hearts and minds of your employees if you're doing it in a large organization for a real difference that you're trying to create in people's lives, and that's when it appeals to everyone.
You're right. You're right. And you've mentioned, by the way, you've mentioned passion and learning. This is why in our daily lives, if we open our eyes in the right way and look around, we can learn a lot from what we're doing, from what we see others are doing, how they are living their lives. This all provides us with a lot of experiences and lessons learned in order to embed when designing any journey mapping regarding whatever brand, service, or product.
Yeah. But another interesting thing in my experience, and this is actually a quotation I'm using from a fellow Jordanian. I'll introduce you to him sometime, inshallah. I promised you last time as well, but I will. One of the things that he and I have felt in a lot of people who are in this space, there are a lot of people who are just passionate about what they're doing, and with that passion comes a certain degree of generosity as well. They want to share what they understand and learn of the world with others. So, I think those two things kind of come coupled together. Even looking at your, mashallah, the profile that we went through at the beginning, you've imparted that knowledge that you have gained with others. And that comes from passion and generosity. Those things I think are tied to. So, Malek, at the end of this, just to close out today's session, and I think that we will come back on more sessions with you in specific areas, because I would love for the audience to actually, if you could share that the how you designed the journey to attract investors. I think that's really appealing as an idea as well, because we're going towards a world where everyone wants to work at home and become an entrepreneur. So, but last but not least, I wanted to ask you, Malek, what would you suggest to someone? What would your tip, or more than one tip, to someone who is inspired by this interview and wants to adopt journey mapping as a practice? What would you say to them?
Here I would like to raise another topic, which from my point of view, it's always linked to journey mapping and customer experience. And here I would like to talk about performance management. Okay. Whenever designing any journey mapping, or whenever structuring any customer experience journey for customers, we should always take into consideration the performance of the overall journey. What do we mean by performance? We are talking here about embedding it with the right KPIs, key performance indicators, that can help us measure the efficiency and effectiveness and productivity from this journey mapping. Why is that? Because what we mentioned before, we said that it's a continuous improvement journey. Okay. I will start designing it, but I will continue to improve it. And we cannot continue to improve what we have designed unless we measure what's going on, what's happening, how customers are encountering with my service, product, or brand, how they are feeling it. Because we can even measure feelings and emotions if we design and select the right KPIs in order to develop an overall dashboard. This dashboard will be my continuous reference whenever thinking of improving and, let's say, scaling up my business, my reach towards my customers within my market or prospected markets. So performance management, dashboards with the right KPIs that is aligned with my journey mapping in order to measure, manage efficiently and effectively.
Okay, so in other words, what you're saying is that think about how to make this journey mapping effort sustainable for your organization, right? So I mean, start measuring it from day one so that you can actually make it sustainable and keep that view that you want to improve this journey on a continuous basis. And you will only know that if you're actually measuring that journey.
And like what we always say, you cannot manage what you cannot measure.
That's Drucker, right? Peter Drucker. Yes. Okay. No, okay, I think that's wonderful advice. If you wanted to add to that, by the way, of how someone, if you wanted to add another tip over there, of how someone, that's the tip you gave is, to someone of how they want to make it sustainable. If you wanted to add, Malek, another tip of how they should get started on actually doing the journey mapping, what would you suggest to them?
Think of yourself. Step out of your house,
Right.
go to buy any service or product from the market, and draw what you have done, starting from leaving your house up to the point of purchasing the service and product, and back to your house when you start using it, this using the service or product. Just draw, structure the experience that you have, and see how efficient, how effective it was, and how you can improve on it. This would be a great starting point.
That's one of the best tips I've received, to be honest, because if you put yourself in that situation, you're bound to look at it from so many different perspectives, which you just won't be able to feel if you're just looking at textual feedback. So I think that's a great tip for someone, especially if you do it for your own organization.
Of course.
Because otherwise it sounds like, I've had a recent experience which I wanted to share over here with you, and I think I shared one or two of those journey maps with you as well, because as I said earlier, we deal with telecoms and banks and all these organizations around us, and the experiences we get from them, sometimes as a professional, what I do is I end up mapping those experiences. And it's really interesting, the reaction that you get from these organizations when you share this with them. Some of them are fairly open about it, but then they're so large and so siloed that they don't know how to move forward dealing with experience, because it cuts across so many organizational silos. And some of them they just want to completely turn their face around and say, okay, no, that's not an experience that we delivered. It's really interesting. But Malek, it's been an absolute pleasure and an honor to have you with us today. And inshallah, I am sure that, as we move forward and there are more breakout sessions in this series, that we would want to have you again with us to share some specific parts of your experiences. And we all wish you will be open to that. And we wish you all the success with both where you are right now and with the Sonera, right? I will check that out, in fact. I feel like investing in it myself now, by the way.
That's awesome. We'll stay in touch regarding this Sonera project. And thanks a lot for having me with you. It was an honor for me. And please allow me to thank you for sharing this knowledge with everyone around the world, for them to better understand what journey mapping is and for them to better use it in the right way.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Thanks for you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the Friday, and inshallah, I'll be in touch for sure.
Thanks a lot, Ghulam. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Malek. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.